All right, guys, I'm going to teach you today how to sync your grades and assignments from Canvas over to Skyward. My Skyward looks a little off right now. It's because I'm hiding my students' names so that way I don't get in trouble since this is being posted to YouTube. Okay, so basically what we need to do first off is log into our Skyward, and then we need to go to whatever class we're editing. Okay, so right now I'm on my Business Office Specialist class. And then we need to click on this categories button to see which categories we have set up. Okay, so some of you may have messed with this before. If you didn't, it's going to be whatever it's set at because third quarter is over. Ideally, you want to be able to set this up specific to your class. So for instance, mine, I have 20% on assignment and 80% on test. Okay, so I have those categories set up. So first thing we're doing right now is identifying what categories we want, right? And what percentages if we have it weighted, right? So each class is different, I know, but we need to pay attention to what the name of the categories are for our assignments, right? So right now I have an assignment category and a test category at 20% and 80%. Now, traditionally, if you do this at the beginning of a semester or a year, you'd be able to change those, right, to match whatever your class is. But right now, whatever assignment categories you have and percentages, right, we want those set up. Okay, so now that I've identified I have assignment at 20% and test at 80%. I'm going to go over to Canvas, which is somewhere. Am I blind? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to open up my Canvas and I'm going to go to, I'm going to click on the class, right? So I go find the class that I'm working on. And then I'm going to click on assignments. Okay, so I'm in the class, the same class, Business Office Specialist. Okay, and then I actually just barely created that. So let's go ahead. So what we need to do is we need to add the groups, the category groups that were on our Skyward. Okay, so mine are already set up, right? So I have an assignment group at 20% and a test group at 80%, right? So mine's already set up the way it needs to be. If you don't have the correct category set up, right? So a common mistake I see is assignment is automatically assignments with an S in Canvas. So we need to make sure that we edit that if it is that way, right? So I just click edit and change it from the S, get rid of that S. Okay. Now, if I don't have the category, let's say you have participation we're trying to add. I'm going to click this plus group button at the top, and I'm going to name it exactly what it is in Skyward, which is participation. And let's say in your class, it's 15%, right? So I'm going to type in that 15, I'm going to hit save. That's going to automatically create the group that I need, right? Participation, 15%. So that's basically, you need every single category that you're going to be putting into Skyward and the correct percentages put in as well. Now, some of you may not see the percentages. That means that it's not enabled. The weighted is not enabled. So you're going to click the three dots to the right of plus assignment, the blue button. And then there's a button that says groups weighted. Okay, and you just need to make sure this box is clicked that says weight final grade based on assignment groups. And that will allow you to put percentages in. All right, so that's the settings part of Canvas. Next part is obviously creating the assignment and making sure we have those settings set up correctly. So you have two options. You can either click add assignment, right? You can add an assignment within. Okay, so either way, you're just creating the assignment however you feel comfortable with, right? So maybe this is the example assignment. You put your instructions in, you create everything normally like you did before, only this time you should see every single assignment group that you created, right? So we just created a participation one, so maybe it's a participation assignment, right? And you do all the other features that you normally would do. Next thing is we need to make sure that sync to SIS is clicked. Okay, so that checkbox. That allows Canvas to know, hey, this assignment is going to be sent over to Skyward once I'm ready for it. And then the last thing, as far as assignment goes, you need to make sure you have a due date. Okay, without a due date, it will not sync. So you need to make sure you put whatever the due date is, right? And then you're going to hit save and publish if you are publishing that assignment. Okay, so now the settings are all set up. Okay, so let's fast forward and say I I created this assignment, my students submitted it, I graded them all, right? So I'm going to click on grades now. Okay, so here's my grade book. And let's say I went through and I graded everything that I needed to. Okay, so now I need to basically send these grades over to Skyward. You need to do this every time you're ready to send it over. Think of it like Harry Potter and Hedwig, like you need to actually send the grades somewhere, right? So this button is known as the Hedwig button. So I have my actions right up top. I'm going to click there, and then there's a sync to post grades button. Okay, so once I click that, it's going to let me know, hey, these are the assignments that are working, these are the ones that are not, right? So right now I have an error message, right? That's because this assignment I created didn't match a Skyward grading category. Okay, so this is the page. It will let you know anything you have problems with. The most common one that I get is sometimes I don't have due dates put in, right? So it's super simple though. I can just click exclude, or I can click the blue pencil. Blue pencil lets me actually edit. So it'll take me directly into this assignment to edit it. I normally just hit exclude and just make a mental note that I need to fix that. But just, right, this is not going to post. The Have You Gotten on Canvas is not going to post because I told it not to. Okay, but everything else is ready to post. So I'm going to click continue and post grades. So that is going to let me know. It's going to say, hey, we sent everything over. So now on my Skyward, it'll take probably 3 to 4 minutes, give or take, but it'll automatically create the assignment, and it will, whatever grades I've put in, it will send over. Okay, so that's how you send your grades over, right? So we did the settings and send them all over, and it should be working now. So good job. I definitely would double check on your Skyward though to make sure it's working. Sometimes I find that I didn't do a setting correctly on an assignment, right? Maybe I didn't check box the mark that says sync to SIS. Sometimes I don't have a due date on it, right? There's lots of different reasons it wouldn't post, but in general, if you follow these settings, you should be good to go.